Hello, everyone. Welcome to another DCU Daily. We have some good stuff to you. Not quite as packed as the past few shows. Those have been a little bit much, ranging from 3 to 4 hours. Don't worry, we're going to try and keep it nice and tidy on this wonderful Thursday. I've seen a couple of you have entered the chat already, but in terms of stuff we were going to be talking about today, lots of trailers. Lots of trailers. We got 5 trailers for you today. The most famous out of the bunch is Mortal Kombat 2, as you could tell from the thumbnail, the title. But we also have Jendy Tartakovsky's new movie, as well as more franchise stuff in regards to Tron Ares and Alien Earth, but also another interesting one that revolves around a franchise. But we have some breaking news in regards to The Late Show. Whoa. Voice crack there. But we also have stuff in regards to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, in regards to wrestling. We won't be touching on that too long, but we got to talk about it. Dan liked to put it in the rundown. So, and of course, we are going to be topping it all off with DCU Daily. Going to be talking about comic side rumblings and tumblings, as well as Superman breaking more box office records. And with all of that, let's get into the show by telling us the new tough guy, relating to yesterday's story, telling us that we are all enough. So let's get into the news and see you then after this intro.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number 2.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. And you're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow! Wow!
Oh my goodness, guys. Now, let's introduce some people in the chat. Monique wishing us a wonderful and terrific Thursday. We are hoping you are having a terrific Thursday as well, Monique. As well as Patrick saying hello. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Eugene. And hello, Right Dude. Nice to see all of you for right now. But here we are. We are going to introduce the news. But before I do so, I have to introduce my co-host for today, and that is Bridget. Bridget, how are you on this wonderful and terrific Thursday, according to Monique? How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good. I'm quite tired, I won't lie. Done a lot of driving today, but it is nice to be like alone. Not a big
Yeah.
across the roads.
Understood. And of course, I did forget I have to put my name down for all the new people that are joining us. I don't know if there's many new people, but hey, we got like 3,000 subscribers in the past couple weeks. There's apparently a lot of new people, so I got to introduce myself. So hello, I'm John. Nice to meet you if you're new. But we are going to get into the news today. And first, obviously, as usual, not the best of news, however, but we are going to get into it. We're going to touch upon it. And that news is apparently The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is actually ending next year in May of 2026. They are not only just ending it with Stephen Colbert, but they are retiring the whole late night franchise, CBS, of course. Now, this is sort of a huge thing. I mean, it has been writing on the wall in terms of late night shows. They've been kind of reaching a downturn. They're kind of like shows of yesteryear. They aren't really culturally relevant anymore, but it is still sad to see, Stephen Colbert was a big part of that for many, many years. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this was appropriate and a good time to end this since of what I just said? Or do you think that this is not the right move from CBS, and whatever your thoughts on either?
I mean, that is really crazy news. But I don't know. It might make a lot of sense, especially in today's day and age. Although I was gonna say like, oh well, who's like, because I know sometimes these talk show hosts will then have a replacement. Like I think the way that Conan had come on, I forget who he replaced. Was it Jay Leno maybe? So that's interesting that they're just like done with the whole thing. But I feel like it makes sense though, because we're in such a different time. I think, my mom used to say when she was, my age and working, she'd always come home and watch like Conan late night. Like that was the thing to do. And I just feel like things are changing now. I feel like no one I know, I don't think a lot of people our age really watch late night quite
Right. I
everything.
see some clips from time to time on
Yeah,
YouTube, but
not like
that's
tuning
kind of
in.
it.
No. Yeah. So
Yeah. They now Fiona is asking in the chat. Thanks, Fiona. Nice to see you. They did say that they didn't it was kind of vague. They just said this, CBS said this in regards to their statement. We consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable and will retire the Late Show franchise. At that time, we are proud that Stephen called CBS home. He and the broadcast will be remembered in the pantheon of greats that grace late night television. So he did say, so the exec say it was purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night, kind of what we were saying, is not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount. As we all know, we have been covering the Paramount Skydance merger that many people have been kind of attributing to this, but it could be attributed because it's a financial decision, and Paramount's kind of not really doing well money wise, hence why the merger is happening. But some people are saying, now we won't go into this too much because we don't want to get into political stuff too heavily. But some people are saying due to a lot of, Stephen Colbert is very outspoken in terms of a certain someone, and that that Paramount and CBS execs to see him as too much of a liability, and that's why they're ending, and it's not because of late night and it just not being relevant anymore. What
well,
are your
that's
thoughts on that? Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just curious to know your
right.
thoughts.
I mean, that's interesting, but I feel like he's been that way for a while. I feel like if it was an issue, they would have, maybe canned him before or come up with a different solution. But I don't know. I personally think it would make sense that it has more to do with just the viewership and the financial aspect. If they're trying to cut fat and this is the
Yeah,
way they're doing it, then
I
it's a
think
shame.
so too.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, because I was looking through my page, and right when we were planning the show for today, we saw the breaking news, and we were both like, okay, let's add this because obviously it's breaking news for right now.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were saying in the comments on one of these Facebook posts that all of them, oh, it's a political move, it's a political move, it's a political move. But I mean that's worthy to note, hence why I asked, because I don't think
Mhm.
it's a political move either. I just think like Stephen Colbert is getting old, like he has made enough money from this, and he's probably wants to either live comfortably or all of that. But I think it's just that it's just late night shows just aren't popular anymore. Like
Yeah.
the Tonight
More
Show is
competitive.
probably the most popular, and that's just because it's the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
It has so much, success behind it. I'm not saying the Late Show didn't, but in comparison, the Tonight Show is huge. So
Yeah. I also
I
think
just think. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna
Right.
say?
I just had this thought too. I almost feel like too in this podcast era, I feel like they have so much more competition than they ever did
Yes.
before, as
I
far as
mean,
what people
look at
can.
Patrick Olinger. He mentioned Conan, and Conan left late night to do a podcast. So Conan needs a friend. It's
Yeah.
that seems like the case now. The podcasts are the new big thing because
Yeah.
usually they're either for free or with a package. Like you could find them on Spotify for free. I know. I don't think so, but it was worthy to mention, I think.
Yeah.
It's new leadership. They're just, as Bridget said, cutting the fat, all of that. So I think they're just doing that. I don't think so, but I just saw that and wanted to, mention it because a lot of people are kind of claiming that when I just don't think that's the case, but worthy enough to mention. But
And I'll say, sorry, one
oh,
more thought too is,
no, you're good. You're good.
thinking about, any kind of program like this that is through a big channel like CBS, they're really monitored too, I feel like, in what they can say. Whereas like podcasts can be really blunt and say what they want without fear of,
Exactly.
a network, what's the word? Like
Censorship.
censoring them. So I think too, when people want to hear like, I feel like we're in an age too where people really want to hear like the truth or whatever it is that they really lean into, they can find that. Whereas they might find this almost too mild as well. Where it's
Yeah, I just think that this is the case. I know some people will claim it's political. I just don't think so. I think late night shows are just kind of dead at this point. It's on life support. I mean, Conan realized this and he got the hell out. I think CBS is kind of realizing this. They said it's a financial decision. So they're like, all right, let's cut this before this merger happens. And, it's just like, and Stephen Colbert wants to retire. He's like, you know what, I'm old. He's not
been like
old, but like he's older. So he's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna live comfortably. It's not a huge thing. So that's what I think.
I mean, he started in 2015, so it's
Yeah,
been 10 years. I feel like it also makes sense. Like if you're gonna end, it's like, okay, I've given it 10 years. Seems like a good time to,
yeah.
cut
I
it off.
mean, there have been many attempts at new late night shows to cater like to millennials, Gen Z,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that crowd, and it just never works. I know Taylor Tomlinson had one for 2 seasons and then got canceled. I know the YouTuber, I don't Lily Singh had one for a couple seasons that was
yeah,
just painfully cringy, and
yeah.
that got canceled after a bit. So I think it's just, you know,
Doesn't work
I
anymore, really.
it just doesn't work anymore. I mean, if this happened like 10 or 20 years ago, I'd be like, "Oh, that's definitely weird." But
Yeah,
2025 late night shows are dead. They're dead. That like nobody watches them outside of like clips on YouTube
yeah.
where, you're more free to do whatever you want. And if here's the thing, the only way I will think it's a political move is if Stephen Colbert does not retire. Because he claims he wants to retire and just kind of,
Oh,
this is all happening, da da da, all
if
that
he
stuff.
moved on to something,
Um,
yeah,
but if he like moves on to something else that's major, then I'll be
mhm,
like, okay, it was probably a political move. I don't think so. I do think it's just a money thing, and I think they just want to get this done and over with before, just cutting all these things for the money reasons before they eventually merge. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean that's why they're merging with Skydance because they need the money. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's one way to
Um
go.
Yeah, there's another one bites the dust, but it's writing was on the wall. So, it's sad, but like, is it really that sad though? I mean, it's just like, oh, Stephen Colbert's such a known name. He has his own Ben and Jerry's flavor. That's
Yeah.
probably where people know him more so is the Ben and Jerry's flavor than the actual late night show.
I know. That's so cool.
Which I will say, I don't like Stephen Colbert. I will say his Ben and Jerry's flavor is pretty bomb though.
It's
That
good.
is
Okay.
American Dream is pretty damn good. Not gonna lie.
There's pretzels in
Um,
it, right? I think that's why I don't like pretzels, so I've never tried it.
but Jimmy Kimmel Live, Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon still bring viewership. Yeah, they're saying that I mean, but those are owned by different networks. So,
See?
obviously we'll just have to wait and see what happens with those. But for now, Stephen Colbert is the late show with Stephen Colbert is coming to an end
Mhm.
next May 2026. So that's
Mm.
it. But oh well. But the next big thing in terms of things ending, apparently, we did touch upon this a day or two ago that Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, the tickets for the IMAX screenings were on sale a year out for specifically the 70 millimeter screenings, which there are not a lot of. I think there's like maybe a dozen, maybe like 15 theaters that have the 70 millimeter IMAX screenings. They were selling those, and apparently they they got sold out. They got actually sold out, but in minutes apparently. And but here's the thing, a lot of people are claiming that it was mainly scalpers that
Probably.
are the reason for this, because that was the reason why the Switch 2 got sold off in minutes, because everyone was pretty much boycotting Nintendo. And and so everyone was like surprised, like, oh, that's interesting. But it seems like that scalpers are selling this out. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it is scalpers? And do you think that this was, I mean, talking about in general, I'm curious to know your opinion in terms of the IMAX screenings being, available a year out. Was that a good idea, bad idea? And does this change your viewpoint, if any?
Yeah, I feel like it is. Well, see, I hate scalpers, and it's annoying that they're even coming into the cinema world when they can just stay in the concert arena, because it's like one of the worst parts of our society. I feel like I mean, I guess they would know if they're seeing like resale tickets online, then we would know that, yeah, there's scalpers involved. I mean, as you said, though, if there's limited screenings, limited theaters, it wouldn't totally surprise me that they would sell out if, people are like, it's a year in advance. I want to make sure I get tickets because I really want to see this in this type of screening. I mean, that's going to build a lot of demand for it. So it's possible that is also a big combination, a big factor for why that happened. But if people are seeing these already being resold, it just pisses me off so much.
Yeah. So apparently, exorbitantly expensive resale tickets for the film have started popping up online. People are not happy about it, and they wanted to, a lot of people are complaining on X. Someone is trying to resell two BFI IMAX 70mm tickets for the Odyssey for 94 British pounds. And, people are selling it for like huge amounts of money, like on eBay. Jobless MFs are really, really, really reselling Odyssey tickets for $150, $100, $500. Just it's just absolutely ridiculous. And
Yeah.
does this, I mean, it is kind of a thing that's being brought up. Should movies get treated like events like this? You know, um, you know, should I know Dan kind of agree with this. Does it should they be built up like this? Like, especially big blockbusters, especially as big as a Nolan movie, as big as, an Avengers movie, as big as all this? Or do you think because of what, these fucking assholes are doing, should that not be a thing because they're going to just ruin it for the rest of us?
Yes. I mean, in part, I do feel like that the people that doing all the movie releasing, I think people in the marketing team, they see that this has the potential, especially releasing it a year early, building up a lot of hype, is going to obviously build the excitement and the desire for people, when they're especially doing, special release for, Nolan films, and, they're the ones who are really making it bigger. And then as fans, we're adding fuel to that fire. And I think you're right. I think it does feel like things are becoming bigger, almost like the equivalent of like a concert like event where it's like, oh my gosh, Beyonce's in town. Like, that's what it feels like, everyone's, or what the Reputation tour, like, oh, this is the only time she's here, got to get the tickets. This is like, oh, the only time that they're offering these limited selection to see this, the opening weekend or whatever, in the IMAX and the 70mm screenings. And if I want it, I might pay this scalper, 3, 4, 5 times as much, because it feels like it's such a big deal. And I feel like it's only as big as a deal at the end of the day as we make it. And I think we can kind of give our power away to the marketers and the movie makers when they are making all this hype. I mean, I don't know. It is
Bit
exciting.
dark. I mean, that's a bit dark, Monique, but I'm just saying, I get it. Like, I understand that. Like, but
I mean,
still,
so that's true. Anything can happen, and you got to make sure you put it in your will of who your tickets are going to go to. That's kind of a big commitment, I think, having it a year out. I wish they would have waited, but I think they know what they're doing, releasing it a year early. I think they know that they're making it so that way people have to plan ahead. People have to get their tickets now, not even knowing what they're
yeah,
going to be doing in a year. Like, they're making it a bigger commitment than it has to be.
yeah. And considering, I do think it is going back to the whole scalper argument. I do think it's funny that like when we are in a world where people refuse to go to the theater anymore because it's too expensive. Do you really think people are going to fork up
Honestly,
150
I know. I'm
bucks
like,
for 2 tickets to
hopefully we
see
all
the
have this.
Odyssey?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just like it. The thing is, like, at least with like the Switch or like concert tickets, there's only like a finite amount because like they're on this specific tour, they're on this specific thing. Meanwhile, like movies, you could just see it on a different day. You could see it in a
Yeah.
different format. You could see it like because the thing is, would it be nice to see IMAX at 70 millimeter? Yeah, but I can also see it in Dolby. I could see it in regular formatted IMAX.
Yeah.
I don't have to see it at 70 millimeter. Would it be nice? Yes. But like if like douchebags are gonna do this, then it's like to hell
It's
with that.
right.
Like
It's not worth it at all. Hopefully we all have the sense to agree on that to
exactly.
give
That's what
in.
Eugene's saying. Like eventually they're gonna, that AMC IMAX in Lincoln Square, which is what
Yeah.
Eugene said earlier. He even said like they're gonna have more of these eventually, because it's gonna have like at least a week or two before I assume Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out, which is probably gonna take IMAX screenings. It's gonna have a couple weeks before that comes out to
Yeah.
go and see it. So it's like these guys are just buying up these tickets and
I
trying to sell them for
and
like
yeah, they'll be stuck
all
with a
this
bunch
money.
of tickets that they can't sell, which will probably end up happening, I would think. But it just ticks me off that they even have the audacity to now come into this world and try and do that. Because you're right. I think most people wouldn't care. Although I don't know. I feel like in LA, I drive past a lot of
I don't
theaters,
think so.
really special screenings, and so sometimes I do feel like here the hype can get played up, but hopefully other places it won't.
Yeah. But it is kind of an interesting thing, the last bit in regards to the Odyssey. It does kind of prove how powerful Christopher Nolan is as a director. Like, I know that a lot of people were saying like Quentin Tarantino was the last like event director because like you
Mm.
would because I remember Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being built up so heavily and there was like not really another director that did that. Well, now since Oppenheimer, it seems like Christopher Nolan is that answer, and he's not going away anytime soon. Unlike, Quentin Tarantino, that's gonna go through 16 projects to get to the one thing he's gonna actually make as his last project because he does this stupid like 10 movie thing that makes no sense. Um, but
Yeah.
Nolan's, he's like, I'm gonna fucking die with a camera in my hand. So it's like good for him. And it seems like, that's definitely something like it shows that there is something there for movies. There is,
Like that
you
star
know,
quality.
there is that like star quality in regards to the director and like people are interested in that. I think people still it shows that people want to go to the movies. They do. It's just they don't want to take out a second mortgage and offer their firstborn child to go see the newest Spider-Man movie. Like that's like people want to see the movies. They want it. They just don't want to spend $100 per session to go see one. That's why they wait for a big blockbuster or something like that. And not everybody wants like AMC Subs A-List or Regal Unlimited or whatever the hell Cinemark has. They don't want to do that, but it shows that with this, you know, scalpers aside, it shows that this is an event thing. And if this succeeds, maybe they can find ways to not have scalpers ruin it for everyone else. And on top of the fact, they can, make this an event thing like with the next Avengers movie or the next, whatever big Denis Villeneuve movie or whatever, big like director or film franchise can be attributed to this. And would you want it to go down that route, or would you be like, no, let's not have movies be like concerts?
I mean, I won't lie. I feel like there, as a film lover, I feel like it is kind of fun to go into a theater full of really excited people, also really excited for a movie. Like it is kind of nice that it's not like, oh, just a regular Tuesday night seeing whatever's. I mean, you're right. We have to be more choosy with what we see because no one can afford to go see everything that's coming out. A lot of people have to pick and choose what they're going to say for streaming, and whether it's worth it to see in theaters. So I do think that it is kind of nice when there is that like one special movie that people are pumped for, that you're just excited to see. I do feel like it is there's like a great aspect to it, but I don't like when it gets to the point where people then take advantage of the situation, of course, and then can ruin it for everybody. I think there are ways that things can be put in place to prevent that, but it's again up to the ticket sellers to decide.
Yes, I think so, but I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on the whole thing. Like on one hand, it could be good. On one hand, it could be not good.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. I think, but they also need to try and find a way around scalpers. But the only thing that'll stop them is if the people stop paying for them. Also, hello, movie Spud. But moving on from the world of film to the world of television, apparently, according to the numbers, that Dexter Resurrection, the newest Dexter show, project, whatever, opens to really solid ratings, and it builds upon the original Sin prequel, which also had apparently very good ratings. But apparently, Paramount says more than 3 million viewers worldwide watched the show over its opening weekend. So, which is good. Now, I am curious, have you ever watched Dexter, Dexter New Blood, Dexter Resurrection, Dexter Original Sin? Um, do you think that the reason I wanted to talk about this, outside of the fact, do you think this is a win for streaming services? Because we were kind of talking about that yesterday, me and Dan, about kind of streaming versus cable, how streaming seems to finally be taking over cable. And do you think this is a
Mhm.
sign of the times, or do you think this is just a special thing?
Yeah, because I remember when this was started on cable when it first
Yeah,
came out.
well, it started on Showtime. Yeah.
Yes, and I know all about it. I've heard a lot. I've never had the time to watch it. Seems like a good premise, of course. And I've seen just driving around, I feel like every other billboard, like even on the Beverly Center, they've just been advertising the crap out of this. So
Mm,
it looks, I mean, I'm like, okay, it looks good. If I had the time to start over and get into the series, I would. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's really promising. It's good to see that they did hit the mark, and that they are doing, as you said, I mean, there's so many shows on streaming right now,
right.
a lot of stuff coming out. So the fact, I mean, I know it has a big fan base, which helps. But it is a good sign that they are kind of still able to hold their own, bring in the
Yeah.
viewership.
Unfortunately, I did not get the chance to watch Original Sin just yet. I heard it was good, but it definitely goes to show that. I mean, I watched the trailer for this and it seems bonkers. It has like an A-list cast. It has a ridiculous premise. It's really going insane in regards to, how far the Dexter franchise is going to go. I mean, it has like Uma Thurman, Peter Dinklage, Eric Stone
Mhm.
Street, Neil Patrick Harris, Kristen Ritter, like just so many, David Dastmalchian, and just so many big names that are attached to this. It shows how Dexter has come a long way as a franchise. So that's definitely really interesting. But I just wanted to kind of showcase this a little bit in regards to how far like streaming has come, because it's been a loss for so many years, and it seems to finally play the long game. Gotta spend money to make money. that it seems we're finally reaching the point of overtaking cable, that like even the stuff that's our cable mainstays, like mainly sports and very budgeted shows like SWAT and Law and Order, seem to be moving away from cable, and it might be a world of streaming soon. So obviously we'll see. It definitely is. I'm happy for the show because I've heard good things about it. I've heard good things about Original Sin, but I think there is the broader discussion of streaming and how far it's come and how far it will continue to go. Also, Eugene, in relation to the last story, if you're going out with your family to the cinema, Google gift card. Sometimes you can buy a $50 AMC card for like $35 to $40. I don't know if I trust that, but thanks for the tip. But yeah, so just an interesting tidbit in regards to streaming. And now, speaking of streaming, apparently, according to this, Disney Plus subscribers can get a sneak peek of the Fantastic Four first steps at the premiere live stream. So apparently, after many, many years of, Fantastic Four finally reaching our screens, that apparently Disney Plus is coming into, quote unquote, as the article says, save the day for everyone who wants a front row seat to the action. So, it's going to be starting at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 10 p.m. for everybody watching on the East Coast. On premiere day, viewers can tune in to see all the behind the scenes action on the ground and big, premiere day. So this is definitely a great way of showcasing this. I'm pretty sure that Superman had one, but is this very exciting? Are you going to try and either be there, or if not, try to tune into this? Because I don't know how excited you are about Fantastic Four, but this definitely seems like a lot of fun to check in if not all of us are in California.
Yeah. No, I still wanted to go to that cafe too, I think, where they did that mural. I just have not gotten around to it. But no, I see a lot of marketing that they're doing here for it. So I definitely want to see it. I'm excited. Depends, to the 21st. I have family coming into town that day, so I don't know if I'll have time. If I could
That's
get
fair.
to, that would be awesome, but haven't seen how to get those yet. So if anybody knows, let me know.
But to be fair, if you can't see it, unlike the Black Sabbath concert that just happened back to the beginning, after its inclusion, a full replay of the day's proceedings and the preview will be available to stream at any time. So, it definitely seems like Disney is really trying to have a one up on, pretty much everything in regards to, premieres, and trying to like get back into the cultural zeitgeist in a positive sense, since they've been kind of lacking the past few years. And obviously we'll see if this works. Hopefully the movie's actually good. We will definitely see about that. But yeah, very exciting, and I hope this goes well for them if it is a good movie. If it's not a good movie, then they can frankly go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. I hope Galactus eats you up. But very cool to see. But going from one superhero project to another, apparently Invincible has gotten an early season 5 renewal at Prime Video, and Matthew Rhys, who was in Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood and the Perry Mason reboot, is going to be joining the voice cast. Now, it has I believe the third season just premiered a couple months ago, after it took so damn long to get to season 2. But season 4 will be premiering in 2026, and season 5 will be, I assume, coming in hopefully 2027. But do you watch the show by any chance? And if you don't, are you at least very intrigued with it? And is this exciting in any way, shape, or form to you?
I can't lie. I really don't have a lot of information about this. I haven't watched it. I'm sorry. I've been a busy woman with
No, that's okay. I mean,
Mhm.
I still haven't watched the newest season of Doctor Who, despite having the damn poster on my wall, and just been too busy. So you know how it'd be. And Matt
Yeah.
Reese is a great actor. I agree, movie spot.
Yes, that's true. I mean, yeah, that's exciting that he's in the cast of
Yes.
what this is.
But Invincible is a great show, and I think I know season 2 was kind of dodgy for a lot of people. I do hope season 3 is better. Um, I mean, that makes sense considering how long the comic book series is. Obviously, we'll get to that controversial moment in the comics. It seems like they're building up to that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I love the show. I know it did some things different in regards to Robert Kirkman's original source material, but I do like the show. I've only watched that one season. Again, I really need to get into it again. But I think no, I watched the first half of season 2. I do remember watching the first half of season 2 because they started doing the whole multiverse thing, and I thought, oh, that's kind of dumb. But
Yeah.
whatever it is, I'm just it's very exciting, and I love the show, and I hope it gets all the seasons it can. It doesn't end, it doesn't get canceled. So
Yeah.
very exciting for them. But Dan and I were talking about this yesterday. Again, one franchise to another, no longer superhero, but still worthy to talk about. Apparently, Harry Potter, the studio. We were talking about this yesterday. They're at Leavesden. They are fucking just building out so much stuff for not only this but all these productions. And I know there that future DC projects will be filmed there as well. But the new Harry Potter show is they're going to be building a school for child actors to attend during filming over the next 8 to 10 years. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a good idea, maybe even a bad idea? And if you think it's a bad idea, I'm really curious as to why you would think that. But
Yeah.
again, general thoughts.
That is that's really cool, to be honest. And it makes obviously a lot of sense, especially if you're having I mean, yeah, if you're having a huge show that it's primarily made up of children, you need a lot of children extras. There's a lot of
Mhm.
rules around them working. So yeah, that probably is because they can. It makes the most sense. And oh my
Mhm.
gosh, like how cool would that be to like graduate that school and be like, yeah, like I went to the Harry Potter, I don't know, elementary, middle, high school. Like that's so cool, honestly. Like, yeah. And I guess
Well, it's going to be the high school because when they're done with this, like 10 years from now, they're going to be in their teens and 20s.
I mean, that's really gonna like become a part of their lives. I mean, and that's kind of crazy.
I just hope they come out okay by the end of it because you know how treatment of child actors, especially in this day and age with Instagram, and how
Yeah.
people can treat people very poorly and not understand why that's bad. But
Yeah.
I hope they're okay by the end of it. But this is very exciting for all of them.
It's like,
Although Patrick Olinger is asking you a question, Bridget, have you seen the show Reacher, as in the Jack Reacher show with
exactly.
Alan Richardson?
I haven't. I've heard of it. Haven't seen it though.
Although
Yeah, I have a big
Eugene is
list.
saying, I will
So
agree, season 3 was very good.
okay,
Um,
I'll add it, and maybe in the
Add it
next
to the list. Add it to the long laundry list of
years,
stuff
I
that
will watch it
is
and be
needed to
like,
watch.
yes, I'll be like, wow, that's so cool, and everyone will have forgotten about it by then.
Yeah, that definitely. Oh yeah, I watched the show. Yeah, everyone stopped talking about that show like 3 years ago. What are you doing? And it's just like I just finally got around to it.
Now it's so good. Yeah.
Although Monique wanting to grab you for a different reason, gotta see Reacher. Apparently, Alan Richardson is hunky. I will admit, Alan Richardson is pretty hunky, but
I appreciate the recommendation. Maybe now I'll bump it at the top of my list.
yes, he is shirtless a lot, and he does have sex a lot. So if that interests you, then by all means, give it a watch.
Good to know.
But moving on from one thing to another, apparently, Barbara Broccoli has given her verdict on Denis Villeneuve as director of the next James Bond, and she was very positive. She said he's a fantastic filmmaker. I'm thrilled he's going to be doing it. So it's um, they've and it kind of the rest of it kind of just goes into her role on James Bond, her role in the James Bond franchise, and after the fact. But yeah, Barbara Broccoli has given a very positive verdict on Denis Villeneuve, and I think she kind of is giving like a really blanket kind of vague statement, like, "Yep, he's good," and because I think she just wants to not talk about James Bond pretty much for the rest of her life at this point.
Yeah.
But do you think that there is more to this possibly? Like maybe she hates the choice, maybe she just doesn't want to talk about it anymore for what I stated. And do you think Denis Villeneuve is good for James Bond if you're a fan? I think oh, I think Bridget might have froze, but that's okay. Um but we will be and Stephen Ortega telling us hello. Very nice. Yeah, obviously we got to do the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang remake. But you know, oh,
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
but anyway, I don't know if you heard me, but Barbara Broccoli was talking about James Bond, and I just want to know your thoughts on Denis Villeneuve directing the next entry. Are you excited for that? Are you like, I don't really care about James Bond? What are your quick thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
I remember we were talking about all of the potential candidates for this. Can you remind me what he'd also directed before? Just to jog my
He
memory.
just recently did he just did the Dune films.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yes. Yeah, that is exciting. I feel like he was one that, yeah, made sense. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's also hard too to get the context of like when they asked her and did this interview. Maybe she was just walking on the red carpet and was like, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, maybe she is
She
kind of excited.
apparently she said in an interview with UK film critic Mark Kermode for his podcast
Oh, okay.
Kermode on Film. So yeah, but it does kind of go into what her role was, pressed by Kermode on whether she was removed or would be hands-on. The new James Bond film suggested she had moved on completely. I did it for 44 years and I loved every minute of it, but I'm getting up there now and there's a lot of things I want to do, like this beautiful musical. She said, I'm doing a lot of other things. I have other movies I want to make and other stage shows. I always say I got my love for movies from my father and my love for the stage from my mother. I grew up with passion for both and talent. That's the thing that gets me excited, whether it's film or stage talent, particularly when you meet young people and you see them and you see a potential. All these kids that are in the show, and there's some superstars, and it's a very nice thing. So it seems like even if she was quote unquote removed by Jeff Bezos, which is definitely the rumor that he's like, get the fuck rid of her after she called me an idiot on on the internet. But
Mom,
I don't know. It's kind of nice to see that she's kind of moved on, because it's just like, I spend like half my life like doing this, and it's just like I inherited my father's enterprise. I just kind of want to do my own thing now, which is
well,
kind of nice to see. But it's nice that she's like, whether she means it or not, is kind of giving the okay to the next
passing on the
director.
baton.
Also, to answer Steven's question, Dan is busy today, so it's just two of us today, and he's off doing something work related. But Steven Ortega he wants me to let you know, Bridget, that you look amazing today. So
Oh, thank you.
there you go. All the compliments. I don't get any compliments, but you get all the
Well,
compliments.
you look great today.
But that's it for main stuff. But now we got to get into trailers. Lots and lots and lots of trailers. And by lots and lots, I mean 5, but we're going to be talking about 4 right now. But the first one is Genndy Tartakovsky's R-rated comedy about a very, very horny dog. Well, Randy is like the British term for it, but yes, apparently Tartakovsky, this was a very troubled production. Sony made the movie, but it was going to get distributed by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, hating animation and cutting costs, they're like, we're not distributing this anymore. They're like, okay. So this was on the back end for years and years and years, until finally Netflix decided to pick it up. And it seems like maybe WB actually had the right idea in regards to this, because I like Genndy Tartakovsky's work. If people don't know who are watching, the man did Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, the first two or three Hotel Transylvania. I think the three Hotel Transylvania movies, Primal, Star Wars Clone Wars, the 2D animated one. The man is just a machine, and he's been working. He's doing amazing. He's been doing amazing work since at least the 90s, maybe even the late 80s. So he's a legend in the animation industry. And it just seems a bit odd that this huge legend is doing a comedy about a dog who's about to get his balls chopped off. And so he's having a night of debauchery with all these other dogs. I'm pretty sure you watched the trailer. What are your thoughts on this? Do you have higher hopes for this than I do? Because this just looks not good to me.
Yeah, I
Curious.
have to agree. It's just not. I'll say it's not my type of humor, but in some ways it reminds me of like that Strays movie. I think
Yeah, it's
similar
pretty
to,
much.
like,
It looks like the animated version of Strays.
that, but then also like combined with like The Hangover. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just, I often find things like this that are. I feel like the whole. I don't know. I feel like the whole core of it is just to be like absurdly profane
yeah.
and like overtly sexual, like haha. But they just tend to not be that funny in my opinion because they're trying. I feel like way too hard. I
They're
don't know.
trying way too hard. That's the problem. Because it's not even a well edited trailer either. It's a badly made trailer. It's just awkwardly paced, and it's just like joke, 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 a
Yeah,
little bit of story stuff, and that's it. And it's a shame it's got a good cast. It's got Adam Devine in there. It's got Idris Elba. It's got a couple other comedy names, and it
yeah,
just looks painfully unfunny. Like it looks,
yeah.
you know. I understand Jenny Tartakovsky has a great track record. Once in a while, greatness they falter. They get
All human.
sometime. You know what? Everyone is entitled to a couple bad movies, bad projects, whatever it is.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, the what's a good example of a really like Chris Columbus did Pixels. That dude is also a legend, but he made that crap. So like, you know,
Yeah,
there's
I think a creative
plenty.
outlet maybe just to like play around, do something different. It
Yeah,
flopped. We move on.
it's still, and you know, Elite Easy came in. I think he has uncredited work on the first season of Batman the Animated Series. That would not shock me. But Figure Drawing said I give Jindy the benefit of the doubt. Great track record, as I mentioned. I mean, as I mentioned, the pantheon of his great work in
Yeah.
the past. And yeah, there is an audience for it, like frat dudes who just want to get drunk and watch something on Netflix. Then sure. Yeah. So, hey, you know what? Sausage Party, that movie was actually kind of funny because there's more. I feel like there was more biting satire in that movie than people give it credit for. It's not great, but it's surprisingly very good. And like, yeah, the Emoji Movie, Elite Easy said it's stuck in the 90s a little bit. Also, hello,
Like
Nelson.
I feel like we're going back to that.
But yeah, it just. Yeah, not good. Not good. And I'm gonna be skipping this. It's on Netflix, but I'm not desperate enough to watch it. However, if you really want to watch it, if you're really curious about this, it's
If you're
gonna be on
unfiltered,
Netflix on August 13th. So it's got Catherine Hahn, Beck Bennett, who was recently Steve Lombard in Superman, and Bobby Moynihan, Fred Armisen, Michelle Buteau, and River Gallo. So yeah, yeah, I don't know if this is it. Maybe he's like he's been so cramped into a box for so long. He's like, you know what? Let me just do this gross, absurdist crap fest just to get all of it out, and then I can go back to because I think Primal is still on. So I'll probably just go watch that or go watch Samurai Jack. I haven't seen a ton of Jenny's work. I think I watched the first Hotel Transylvania, some of Clone Wars, some of Dexter's Lab. I've watched some of his work, not all of it, but yeah, he you know.
yeah. That's funny. And I love Dexter's Lab a lot and Samurai Jack growing up. So you'd think I'd be like a huge fan, but It's just this doesn't hit for me, but
Yeah.
I don't
So
too much.
I know I need to watch Primal. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Primal. I know like the last couple seasons of Samurai Jack were fantastic. I know it kind of fucked the ending a little bit, but even outside of that, I know how great Primal is. So I do plan on watching that. But yeah, going on to the next trailer, and oh, finally some good fucking food. So Alien Earth has got another trailer. This is going to be on August 12th. The show is going to come out. It's going to be on FX and Hulu. Um, and Noah Hawley, who is also a legend, he did Fargo, he's done uh, Legion, and now he's doing another franchise with Alien Earth. It's showcasing a little bit more of what the world is and what this is going to be about, but it still stays in the realm of not showing too much. Just that this ship crashes, there's aliens on board, chaos ensues. So I'm intrigued with this. I don't know if you're an Alien fan. I don't know if you've seen any of the movies or anything else, but I'm really pumped for this. Are you, at least at the very least, maybe intrigued with this?
Yeah, definitely intrigued. I would say that this trailer I feel like didn't reveal a whole lot, hardly much. So off of that, it's hard to get too pumped about, but no, it definitely piqued my curiosity. And yeah, I saw the first one ages ago, so it could be a nice refresher to kind of get back into that world.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Timothy Oliphant is just an amazing performer. It's mostly nobodies, or at least nobody I know personally. All the names I'm like, I have no idea who that is, no idea who that is, no idea who that is. But like, I'm not like writing it off. I think it's good that it's mostly unknowns, because then I don't have like this preconceived notion or blinded by stardom kind of thing where it's just like, okay, cool, I could just get into the world, not
Yeah.
know who anybody is, and just like enjoy. So that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Um
That's a
Steven
good one.
Ortega is simping for Dan in the chat. Like, damn, all right. Damn, I miss you too, Steven.
Aw.
Very nice, very nice. But yeah, Alien Earth is great. Looking great. I didn't bother with Alien Romulus. It just kind of looked like nostalgia bait for me. But since I love Noah Hawley, I'm definitely going to be watching this. And yeah, this looks absolutely fantastic. Now, the big trailer that I assume everybody wants us to be talking about, we got to deal with some uncaged fury with Carl Urban coming into the Mortal Kombat franchise with Mortal Kombat 2. We got this little teaser about his films prior to the events of the movie, and with cheesy 80s, 90s action fests. And he's now coming into the world of Mortal Kombat after what was established in the first movie. And I assume Dan was happy because they referenced the original Mortal Kombat theme in this trailer. So that was very exciting. And this just looks like a ton of fun. Next to if Caleb were here, he'd be very happy because next to no Cole Young in the movie, because I know everybody collectively hated that fool, which is kind of sad because Louis Tan is a hell of a performer and a great actor. So it sucks that he's designated to a shitty original character that nobody likes. So, you know, it's 4 years after the first movie, but it seems like they're taking a step in the right direction. They're finally bringing in Johnny Cage. It's going to be about the tournament. They got this great cast, and who doesn't love Carl Urban? Now, I was going to ask this, but Steven beat me to the punch. Did you watch the first Mortal Kombat? Did you watch any of the 90s movies? Did you play any of the games? Curious, or did you just see the trailer and you're like, you know, this looks cool, I'll see it, or this looks trash, I'll see it? So a lot of questions, sorry. But
Well,
first things first, did you see the first movie?
I did not, because I witnessed the games when I was younger, and I personally thought they were way too violent. I hated the gore. I hated some of the moves that killed certain people. They were, yeah, I was just like, oh, it's like, that's so. I swear there was one where they put like a katana. I won't even say it. It's really bad. But yeah, I just, for me, I was like, oh, I mean, I know there's a huge fan base. I won't poo-poo it too much, but that's the reason I was like, when that first came out, I was like, I wasn't too interested in seeing it. But
As do I.
this was a good trailer. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, okay, like it didn't. I don't know. I don't know how gory it's going to get, but I mean, I'm just not a huge
I don't
fan of
know. This
violence.
this trailer looked
Thing.
pretty gory, so
But I do know of like that this is like true to the original story, which for fans that's going to be really exciting to see, the Johnny Cage action hero guy
it's
come
showtime.
in, and yeah. It's this guy, this actor. He's not American, is he? Because I could hear a bit of an accent.
Carl Urban is either Australian or
That's
from New Zealand.
okay. I could kind of
I forget which one.
like one of his first lines. I was like, "Is this guy?" But then he started speaking American accent, so I just wasn't sure.
Yeah. But I will say a lot of the, action in this is definitely looking really
This
cool.
one's really cool. I love the hairband one. That was
Nice.
cool.
This looks so fun. I know the first one that looked great, and it turns out that was not very good. But maybe it's just entirely possible that the sequel being about the tournament is what really gets like. Look at that. That looks fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
So I think this definitely is something exciting. I think. I mean, it's entirely possible it still stinks, but I don't know. I'm a little bit more hopeful that this. Ew, gross, Cole Young. But I don't even know how bad this character is. I'm just going off of what other people have said. He could be amazing, and everyone just like collectively hates him for no reason. So obviously, we'll see. But but yeah, we have just a lot of really good effects and action, and
Yeah, that flip was great. Let's see it right here.
yeah, looking just awesome as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you gonna catch this in theaters, or are you gonna wait till HBO Max to watch this? If you are gonna watch it,
Yeah, I probably have to get a vibe check from other people to see how I don't know, like even like the stupid, but even in the beginning of the Deadpool Wolverine, I was like, too much for me. So I don't know if I can handle it.
yeah, I think you're right. I think he's from New Zealand, and I love Carl Urban, and I love him in Judge Dredd. Although I'm definitely not excited about the upcoming Judge Dredd movie because it's being directed by Taika Waititi, and that dude is as untalented as a shipwreck. So, like, that doesn't make sense. I don't care. I just hate that fucking director. So, not going to be watching that, but I am going to be rewatching Dredd when that piece of shit finally comes out, if it does. But yeah, just quick thoughts on that. I'm sure we're going to be talking about a lot of that tomorrow. But yeah, I'm super pumped for this. Not super pumped, but I'm just like I'm excited. Like
Yeah,
this
we're hopeful.
this is very
It was a good trailer.
yeah, definitely a really fun trailer. And it's got that old school music and the Mortal Kombat, Yeah. I do hope it's more than just the Johnny Cage story, but I understand like people hated like the relatability of Cole Young, even though it's like, why not bring in Johnny Cage? So it seems like that's what they're doing. They're like, okay, fine, we'll bring in Johnny Cage. So they're bringing in Johnny Cage. So yeah, this looks awesome. Can't wait for it. But this is the big one. This is the big one out of the four. Even though I prefer Alien Earth, but that's just me. But going to our final trailer to talk about right now is unfortunately not as awesome. It's unfortunately the third entry in the Tron franchise, and yeah, this is looking. This is something. This is something. I don't know if it's good, but it's something. What are your thoughts? Let us know your thoughts. You watched this trailer.
Your thoughts.
No, your thoughts. I'm curious to know your thoughts because I'll let you go first.
I didn't know what to really think the minute I saw Jared Leto. I don't know. It's so funny. I feel like he's just one of those actors now that has like so much publicity and like a persona outside of acting, that seeing him in any film is just I feel like he brings all of that with him, and it's just I don't know, it totally takes me out of the story. All I can think about is like, oh, that's Jared Leto. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. And I don't know. He was also in Blade Runner. I just feel like this is
Yes.
very maybe I wonder if they were like, oh, he was in that, so let's put him in this. I don't know. Just yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it just seems like they're trying to have like a message and a story to this, like, oh, the evils of AI, even though like literally every company, including Disney, who's making this, are like pro AI because that means you don't have to pay people. So it just seems like awkward. It has an interesting concept, but I don't trust the writer and director. I don't trust Disney. And after they booted Joseph Kaczynski, who literally lit the world on fire with both Top Gun and F1 as two major successes, like they're kind of just like, yeah, let's screw that guy. Let's get the guy who did Dead Men Tell No Tales. It's like, and it also has the baggage of Jared Leto, who is a known so that's not great. Honestly, the only thing that this movie has going for it is Nine Inch Nails. Like, like that's pretty much it. Like, I'll listen to the soundtrack for this because Trent Reznor is fucking awesome, but like, and visually it's a feast for the eyes. It looks cool, but like it's just like it has like the most it even has the most generic worlds will collide. Wow, took you all of 2 seconds to figure that one
Honestly,
out,
it kind
Disney.
of looks like AI might have written this a little bit.
Yeah,
how
that's
I
what it
feel.
kind of feels like. It's like, hey, did you know that that corporations are evil? And it's just like, yeah, it just seems like tropey. It seems like I feel like this is going to be one of those movies where there's like a good idea or movie in here somewhere. It's just going to be burdened by very terrible decisions.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't like the director. I don't like how they booted Joseph Kaczynski after he tried to make Tron 3 for years, and then it just feels very hokey. It feels very weird and awkward.
And I'll say too.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And honestly, it just feels lesser. I mean, I love Tron Legacy. I think that's great. The first Tron movie is like dated. It's okay, but it's not amazing. But it's just one of those movies where it's like no Tron movie was ever like financially successful. So I don't know how they're gonna like do with this. I don't know if they're expecting like this greater franchise. But yeah, I agree. Jared Leto is pretty much box office poison at this point. Although it does have cool visuals.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way. I just feel like there's so much. I feel like that's kind of even like the role of an actor is to become a different character, blend in. I just feel like when there's so much, it's like I don't know. It's like if you have Britney Spears, like she just has so much going on already that if you had her acting, it would just be like, but you can't not think about all that other stuff in the press and in the media, and it's just I don't know. It's hard not to, and he's also a little bit infamous, so it's weird. It's just such a weird choice. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, is he like spearheading this? Is he like, I don't know. But I think it is interesting, as you said, because I didn't really think about that much. But like the whole premise is like, in a world where AI has become the thing, and now we're bringing AI to the world. You're right. Like I feel like it's also so lazy because they obviously are pro AI. They're probably using AI for this. But I think they know the general consensus is against AI. So they're like, we're going to make this film, that really is relatable to the people. And it may even be like, hey, look, like in the end, AI is actually a good thing. I don't know. That's just what I was kind of sensing.
Yeah, I do kind of
just trying to sway.
do kind of get that vibe a little bit. It just feels very weird and awkward. Like it's just like this is one of those movies you could put like on the background or like on a projector in like a rave and it'll like do wonders. But like watching it as a movie, it just feels like it's just like hollow and empty. Just that's the vibe I get from the trailer.
Yeah,
just
like a vibes only movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's what it is. At least like Tron Legacy wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was like at least had like this interesting story of like this guy trying to find his dad, and as well as featuring like the aspects of the games that made like the first Tron so famous. So you had all that.
Yeah.
A more serious Pixels. Yeah, kind of. That's kind of the vibe a little bit, but yeah, not really excited for this one, but you know how it is. But that's it for the news. However, we're not quite done yet because we gotta make this a little bit quicker, don't we?
Okay.
Gotta get those quick hits in there. So let me just bring us back a bit into the world of quick hits. But first things first, we are going to be talking about something that Dan wanted to include, wrestling. Apparently, WWE Unreal debuts on July 29th. I have no idea what this is. Do you know of this? Do you watch wrestling? I'm curious.
No.
Cool. Neither do I. I have no idea what this shit is.
Featured John Cena. In there.
I know John Cena. I know The Rock, and I know wrestling fans hate what's happening in wrestling right now, but they always seem to hate what's happening in wrestling right now. So, yeah.
It's all staged. It just never piqued my interest, but no hate. People like that.
But yeah, for all three of you that are interested in this, congrats. I don't really care. Moving on to the next thing. Apparently, Netflix is going to be ruining another franchise. Apparently, Assassin's Creed, the live-action TV series, has finally been officially greenlit. Thoughts on this? Have you played Assassin's Creed? Do you know of Assassin's Creed? Do you remember the Assassin's Creed movie?
I have a little bit. Yeah, I remember the movie. I liked the movie. TV series. Yeah, it's Netflix. I don't know. I mean, I liked when they did The Witcher.
Yeah, I mean, that was good. And then Henry Cavill left because they're like, oh, hey, these people suck and don't know the book series. So I'm gonna head out. And then they replaced him with one of the somehow Hemsworth that's worse than Chris. So, this has the potential to be good. Apparently it's been nearly 5 years in the making. I have a strong feeling it's either going to be a really good show that lasts 2 years at most, or a really bad show that's going to last like 6 or 7 years. One of the two. There's no in between. So I hope it's good. I'm not holding my breath. Next up, apparently Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne reunite for the season 2 trailer for Platonic. I have no idea what this is. Do you know what the show is? Because I don't.
I don't either. I just said that.
I mean, I know them from Neighbors. Like, I liked that movie.
That's funny that they're another thing together.
But I've literally never heard of this before today. So, cool. Yeah. I guess.
I have to watch season 1, I guess, before I watch season 2.
I mean, I like the both. I mean, Seth Rogen can be funny sometimes. Rose Byrne is always great. So, yeah. Next thing. Colin Farrell's Netflix movie, again, still going on that Netflix binge, Ballad of a Small Player from Edward Berger, who recently did Conclave, gets fall release, and we got a first look here. Apparently it's based on a Lawrence Osborne novel. That seems to be an ongoing thing with Berger. He likes to adapt his novels. But thoughts on this? Exciting, not exciting? Did you like Conclave? Did you see Conclave?
Yes, I love Conclave. I thought it was really good.
So, does that make you interested in this?
It does. And, I also love Penguin. Love Colin Farrell. So, two great things coming together. I might enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, Patrick is asking you, who's your favorite superhero?
It's always been Black Canary, but that's my favorite female superhero.
Hell yeah.
And Green Arrow. Awesome.
Yeah. And let's do that. But the next thing, for another sneak peek on a new film, apparently Scarlett Johansson is entering the directorial realm with Eleanor the Great with June Squibb. It's setting a fall release. Excited? Not excited? Intrigued? Would you watch this?
I'm very intrigued. It's her debut. Yeah, I would, because I love her as an actress. So I'd be interested just to see how she does behind the lens.
Yeah, September 26th, if anybody's interested. But moving on to the next thing. Oh, we definitely know, like Dan included this one. Sayara breaks pre-sale records for Bollywood debutante film. Thoughts?
No, but intrigue for sure.
Cool. I don't really care. Moving on. Lilo and Stitch crosses $1 billion global box office. First Hollywood title of 2025 to reach such a milestone. Minecraft movie got close, but it didn't quite get there. Did you see Lilo and Stitch?
Good.
Are you happy that it reached $1 billion? Or are you like, no, the movie sucked, I don't want this to get $1 billion?
I am. I mean, it's definitely different than I anticipated. It was. This is so stupid. I feel like I usually cry at movies, and this didn't make me cry. So I don't know. I was like, that's weird. But no, it was good. It was. I grew up watching like the movie on VHS.
Why do you think they're in quick hits, Fiona? Because I don't care about any of them. I will say I'm curious about the Colin Farrell movie. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, by seeing how well it was doing, I'm not surprised this happened. And I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for the team that they did this.
Hope they move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah,
but the last thing, last trailer is apparently Vanessa Kirby is starring in a Portland crime thriller, Night Always Comes. You watched this trailer. Quick thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I love seeing her in this role, actually, and I don't know. I think it's on my list for something that I definitely keep on my calendar and I watch when it comes out.
Yeah. But yeah, looks interesting, and I think Vanessa Kirby is a pretty great actress. Yeah. So, I'm glad that she's going on to other things that aren't just Marvel movies, but it's got a good cast: Jennifer Jason Leigh, Stephen James, Randall Park, Julia Fox, Michael Kelly, unfortunately Eli Roth, but that just seems to be the case here. But yes, that's it for quick hits, guys. See, quick hits were quick. Too bad Caleb wasn't here to witness the quickness of today's quick hits.
Yes.
But thanks for watching the news side of things. Don't worry, we're going to be getting into DCU Daily proper. And not too many DCU stuff today, but we will be getting into that. But thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to stay with us for some DC news. But welcome to DCU Daily. Hello, I'm John. I got to do the welcome. I'm John. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. Hello. We have a couple things. We don't have a ton of DC stuff today. I think Dan was like, you know what? Let's give them a break today because we've been doing like 4-hour shows. So let's keep it under like 90 minutes, hopefully. But I'm John. Nice to see you. And then of course we have Bridget here. Hello.
Howdy.
I hope you have. Are you excited to talk about DC news today in any way, shape, or form?
I totally am. I think the last time I was on here was right after doing my movie review. No spoilers. So I see we can talk about spoilers now. I'm excited.
Yeah. But it is quite awesome. But let's get into the... Oh, forgot to click that. Let's get into DC proper. The first thing we have is actually not Superman related, but it's in fact Wonder Woman related. But apparently we talked a bit, me and Dan talked a bit about this yesterday, and we're going to be talking about it again today. Apparently DC Studios and James Gunn are placing the fourth pillar of DC, as Zaslav stated a couple months ago, that Wonder Woman is going to be at top priority, fast-tracking development on her next solo film. I was curious to know your thoughts on this. Do you think this is a proper way to go, or do you think that this is maybe a mistake and they should be going with more obscure characters rather than the most noteworthy ones?
No, I think it makes sense. They're, I think, trying to. I mean, yeah, they're trying to world build again. I think it is important that they kind of go through the pillars as discussed first, and then branch off. See like a tree. We get the core branches and then the little twigs. I feel like it's a smart move to kind of pull us in without confusing too many people. I will say, I mean, it still does feel, again, relatively
Said
recent.
pillar. Elite. I said pillar. Get your ears checked. Anyway, sorry.
I don't know. It is like, okay, we already had Superman and Wonder Woman, and now we're having different Superman and Wonder Woman. I feel like it could be a little bit tiring for people that maybe are just ready for the next thing to come along already. But I feel like for him to establish the universe, he's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah, I think. Do you have anybody like, if you had to say anybody, not yourself, if you had anybody in mind for Wonder Woman, who would you pick? Or do you just look at like, they can go with anybody and I don't really care?
I honestly haven't thought about it, past obviously Gal Gadot, what we've had before. I can see that there's obviously maybe some fan castings here, but I
Yeah.
don't know them too well, so I really haven't thought. I'll have to start thinking about it and coming up with that. But as of now, I don't really have any like people that I'm like. "Ugh." I mean, yeah. I don't know.
I didn't put it up and now we're too late. So yeah, we're gonna show that at the end now. Whoopsie daisies. Too late. Anywho. So we're not gonna be doing the intro today. We're gonna be making it an outro. So that's what's gonna happen because I forgot it and it's too late already. So the fan castings here are pretty good. Um I know Jessica Green, Asia Arjona, Isa Gonzalez, Katie O'Brien. I've seen a couple other people be cast, have Gal Gadot come back, even though that's definitely not going to be the case now. But I think all of them could do a good job. It's like I know there's a couple Greek actresses that they were considering their fan casting. So yeah, but I agree with Elite Easy. I mean, to be fair, David Corenswet was fan casted for years, and it just so happened that James Gunn was like just saw Pearl, and he's like, this guy's really good. He kind of fucking looks like Superman. Yo, get my people contact with his people and you see how
Yeah.
it goes there. Oh Khalil, no. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I just think
And you know what's
what's up?
I was gonna say, so I think it's funny too, especially I've seen a lot in this day and age when things like this are being cast. A lot of people, even on social media, will do like a little audition and be like hashtag cast me, hashtag Wonder Woman. So I wonder if there's like, I don't know if that's gonna start happening too.
Well, I know
don't
Jessica Green, the one on the bottom left, she did like a Wonder Woman cosplay, and they're like, "Hey, have you ever thought about like playing the DCU version?" She's like, "Call James Gunn.
maybe she's
I'm
like
interested."
seeds.
And
Yeah.
she
I
was
mean,
like,
look. I mean, they all kind of do, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think after the game got canceled, I think they finally were like, okay, since we're lacking in Wonder Woman content and people want Wonder, because there was like an outcry of like, we want Wonder Woman content because people love Wonder Woman. So like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's get a Wonder Woman movie off the ground. And I think that's pretty great.
Yeah.
So
These are
Skylar Gisondo, he was also a great fan cast.
true.
I'm pretty sure Rachel Brosnahan was a fan cast at like fucking some point. So yeah, I think this is great. I think
Gotta
this
tell
is
'em what we want.
wonderful,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we're getting this so soon. This is one of the things I'm excited for because like in terms of the stuff that's actually happening, like Supergirl, I'm on the fence. Lanterns, I'm on the fence, and Batman Brave and the Bold, I'm on the fence. Swamp Thing, I want to be excited for, but James Gold is a bit of a man baby now, so I'm like, eh. And then The Authority was probably the one I was most excited for because it was so different, but now I'm like, eh. And then Waller, Booster Gold. I don't really care about Waller. Booster Gold is a really interesting idea. I'm excited for Teen Titans.
Same.
I just, Peacemaker, I'm kind of iffy on because I didn't really like the first season. But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of really interesting TV shows that could be, what was the other TV show. Hold on. Hang on. Paradise Lost. That was the other one. I had a post-it note right above my computer, but now I have a monitor that's way too big, so I have to like. Okay. But yes, Paradise Lost. Ironically, the Wonder Woman show was the other one. I'm intrigued with that as well. I hope it's not just like Game of Thrones meets Themyscira lore. I just hope that's not the case if that is planning to be coming out. Yeah, that would be pretty fucking awesome. Not gonna lie. So yeah, I think this is awesome. I'm glad that they're clearly listening to the fans, because I know there was an outcry when I remember when all those TV shows were announced, like My Adventures with Green Lantern and Starfire and like Heroes Academy or whatever the hell that was called, and they were like, "Where's Wonder Woman?" Then the Wonder Woman game got canceled. So like, you know what? It's clear that this is what the fans want. Let's listen to the fans and give them what they want. Wow. Crazy. It's not just like, hey, we're making a Captain Marvel sequel. Literally, no one wants that. Well, we're doing it anyway.
Because we want to. Yeah. I think it's really smart, finally, that and it's only going to benefit them as well. Yeah, it's so funny. Like, even today when I was driving, I saw at least 2 cars with Wonder Woman stickers on the back. I think it's very telling.
Do you think they'll do a animated series of Wonder Woman after doing another live action movie? I hope so, because I know Bruce Timm wanted to do one way back when they had the Justice League cartoon coming out, and then I know they tried to do a lot of animated series before Justice League and wanted to broaden that world, but they just never came to pass, because I think they tried to get a Wonder Woman show and a Lobo show off the ground, but WB kids were just like, no, give us another Batman show, and that's how Batman Beyond came to be, which is a great show, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I would have preferred to see a Wonder Woman show, not gonna lie, but that's just me. They must have a good pitch for her. Maybe they brought some people in, they're like, hey, give us this, and like, you know what, boom, there we go, perfect. So yeah, I think I think that's awesome. Because yeah, Gal Gadot is kind of shit on now, and I get it, she's not the best actress ever, but I mean what she did do with Wonder Woman 2017 was really good, and I really like that movie, and that's still probably one of the best DCEU movies of all time. So yeah. I'm happy that they're listening to people and giving them what they want. But going from the movie side of things to the comic side of things, apparently DC, loving their big events, can't let shit go, so they're giving us what seems to be like a battle royale to the death for DC. It's going to be headed by 2 great writers, Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder. Joshua Williamson famously did the Flash Rebirth run. Scott Snyder did All-Star Batman, as well as he's currently doing Absolute Batman. So I know you're not really a big comic head, but it seems like, they seem to be doing this big, huge crossover event thing, and it seems like DC loves to do that. Does this get any sort of excitement from you, or are you just like, I just have no like realm for comic books, so I'm just like, I have no idea?
I mean, I've never really given them a big chance to get into. I do have 2. I haven't, I just haven't really had the time to read them, but I'm hoping to kind of get more into comics. But I definitely recognize a lot of these. I wouldn't say a lot, but I recognize quite a few of the heroes in that. So I do think it's a cool premise.
So
I would like it if I knew more.
So this apparently DCKO is a knockdown drag out fight between all your favorite DC superheroes in a cosmic tournament to save the universe from Darkseid, which kind of sounds like Secret Wars a little bit. So I'm like, maybe they're kind of ripping them off a little bit. But the event builds off of the company's DC All-In era, as well as its progeny, Absolute Universe. Those generated huge sales. Starting off with, Absolute Batman, which was like the best-selling comic in 2024. The the Flash Absolute Flash #1, which was like the best-selling Flash comic since like 1986. But yeah, the new publishing event will feature 36 fighters who join a tournament of champions, with winners rising up brackets as Earth transforms into a 5-level gladiatorial arena. Each descending stage tests the heroes in brutal and symbolic ways. The goal is to generate enough Omega energy to rival Darkseid and crown a new King Omega, a celestial being towards whom the universe bends. So, it's gonna be a big event. DC seems to not like they had the whole Dark Knights metal. They had the whole metal event that was big. It just seems like DC keeps doing big events to get people into comics, even though that's not really what like comic fans wants. And I know normies don't really want to buy these comics either. So obviously we'll see. But Elite Easy says it seems fun and creative. I think it does seem fun and creative. Maybe I'll get back into comics finally and read this. But it seems kind of fun. And the thing is, Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson are such great writers that it seems like this will at the very least be kind of fun. I mean, it definitely brings in the idea of like a battle royale, which is huge now thanks to Fortnite. It's Metal was a Batman story, Death Metal was a Wonder Woman story, and DCKO, by the way, is a Superman story. And it said, Williamson, I wanted to tell a story about Superman looking into his own heart of darkness. It's a very personal story wrapped in 9 layers of candy exploding in your face. And then, by the way, Javi Fernandez is going to be drawing the story. And they talked about how incredible and epic it is, even though Joshua Williamson is going to be a part of it. It's going to be mainly written by Scott Snyder, the only Snyder that should be attributed to DC. So yeah, I think and the DCKO prelude and tie-in titles, you have Justice League: The Omega Act and Titans #28, Superman #31, Flash #26, Justice League Unlimited #12, and just so much more. I could get into this on and on. But I don't know if anybody really cares about this. It's not Superman. It's not about the new movie that just came out. So,
But I have to say that little snippet of him describing with the candy exploding in your face. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, and I know a special site that you can use where you maybe don't have to pay for the whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, this seems really fun, and we are gonna maybe be bringing it up in the near future. But going on to what people really want to be talking about is Superman again. So apparently, similar to Tuesday, that James Gunn's Superman had the biggest Wednesday box office of 2025 domestically with $11.8 million. As we know, that Tuesday, Superman had the biggest Tuesday of the year. I think it was at 13.5 million. So as it says right here, but the specific number is, I believe, like 13 point something. But yeah. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is worthy, that you're glad it's going to be getting all this money, or do you think that no, it's not deserving and it should not get its money back and not be a big success?
No, of course I think that's fantastic, because this is the second week now, right?
It's the first week. It opened last Friday, so it's been in theaters for technically about a week. So it's reaching the second weekend.
Okay, great.
So.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I think it definitely, it's probably getting word of mouth. The hype is growing, and it makes sense. And I'm happy for it. I'm excited. I'm glad that things are.
I'm curious too.
Yeah.
It seems like, I know Dan and I were talking about the projections yesterday in terms of the drop. It seems like it's only going to be like a 52% drop, which is not, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, 52%. In terms of this era and in general, not everybody can be, sinners where it's only a 6% drop. 52 is a pretty good number for it to be dropping at. So yeah, I think it seems to be like I think a lot of people were like cautious that opening weekend and said like, Superman movie, I don't know, this is
Hear the
not looking
reviews.
great.
Yeah.
And so like let's have the fans, the guinea pigs go and, see that. Um but I think this is great. Like pretty much all of my friends have seen it at least twice who have wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and although Filmologia, I think you're new here. Hello, Filmologia. Do you think it's possible this makes 700 million? My guess, because we do have a prediction bracket going, that it's going to my prediction is $768 million. That's my personal prediction. So, um, yes, that is also the case of a big part of marketing. Watch it on the biggest screen possible, which makes sense with the more expensive tickets.
Mhm.
Um, you know, uh, yeah, Superman climbed back up to 84% today. We'll be seeing if it stays there. International numbers going to have to increase it. I know that the international numbers were kind of disappointing, but there have been projections that have said that it's going to be increasing with this upcoming week. So yeah, and Elite Easy, I agree. It needed word of mouth. The last couple post Snyder cut
Yeah.
years of the DCU was brutal. It was. I mean, when they announced the new DCU, like literally the biggest year before the biggest year they had, it just crushed them. Not saying like that was because of that, but like even good movies like Blue Beetle kind of tanked because it's like, why do I care? Because this is all going to get rebooted soon anyway.
Yeah.
So that would be an amazing number. I'm curious what Fantastic Four ends up with. Yeah, I'm curious too. I mean, obviously, I hope it gets 1 billion. Hope it gets 2 billion. I just don't see that happening. You
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, which is like obviously also hi Kevin Davis, but that like makes sense because it's like Superman has always been an American like kind of hero, even though they did push for this heavily with the international, it still didn't crack 100 million. So obviously we will wait to see if like it still makes a dent in the international box office. I don't think it's gonna be getting huge numbers internationally, but
Mhm.
obviously we'll have to see. Movie
I mean,
Spud asking, I'm curious what Fantastic Four's drop will be August 1st, with what I can tell only the Naked Gun and Ba- Bad Guys 2 coming out. Yes, that is true. And Dan talked about that as well, how Fantastic Four seems to kind of be the luckiest one out of all of them in a way, because it's like,
less
sure, Jurassic World came out first, awesome, but then it had Superman the next week. I'm
competition.
sure it's still going to make tons and tons of money. You still have Superman impeding on your box office, and
Mhm.
then Superman is lucky to have that extra week since Eddington, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Smurfs, which apparently are all getting not very good reviews and are small indie movies at best, aren't going to be much competition. So it does have an extra week, but it still has that third week of Fantastic Four. Meanwhile, after Fantastic Four, what's coming out? Nothing. It has the entire month of August to
Mhm.
reign supreme, because all the movies coming out in August are, sure, there's some bigger ones like Naked Gun and Bad Guys and maybe a couple others that I can't think of right now. But comparatively, it's like Fantastic Four definitely has a leg up, but the thing is, will it be impeded by bad Marvel word of mouth because the last two movies were not very good, or is it gonna be impeded by Superman or not at all? Well, I'm curious. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be impeded by Superman and past Marvel performance, or do you think it's gonna, because of what's coming after, it's gonna reign supreme?
I mean, you're totally right. There are things going for it, as you said. Having all that time in August is nice, especially if people are maybe at the point where they're like maybe
You're
seeing
good,
a movie every month at least. Then they could see Superman and Fantastic Four because those are kind of the big major ones to see.
right?
But if as we've had some superhero burnout before, so if people are picking, it's possible people picking one or the other, and maybe some diehard Fantastic Four fans might only be wanting to see that. Of course, I feel like a lot of people who are fans just of superheroes in general, like us, we will be saying both, but maybe for the general public, they might just be seeing one or the other. Some people might be skipping out on Superman to see the Fantastic Four. Some people might have seen Superman and then thought, oh, in another superhero movie? No, I'm good. So
Yeah.
that's totally plausible.
You know, I hope if Fantastic Four is good, I hope it's a success. But I hope Superman remains a success
Mhm.
for you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But people are talking in the comments. Didn't Fantastic Four originally have a different date and then Disney moved it closer to Superman? Interesting if true. I don't know about that. But that was before that Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts did terribly at the box office. So obviously we'll see if that they can hold its own or if it's going to get destroyed. But Elite Easy saying Blue Beetle was good. I agree. They deserve a chance under Gunn. They're lucky, but I also believe Disney moved it closer to Superman. I'm not sure, but I know it moved release dates because it originally had John Watts as the director, but then he left to focus on his health, both mentally and physically, because he filmed No Way Home during COVID, so that took a toll on him, which is good because we probably would have gotten a worse Fantastic Four movie if that was the case. But they did move it a couple times because they were trying to reorganize with Marvel at the time. So, but yeah, I agree. $200 million opening weekend, said no one ever. It's holding well. The legs has been stable. So far, let's hope it continues to increase. I think Thunderbolt will help Fantastic Four, but Superman seems to take up a lot of its air. I agree with that. Yeah, Thunderbolts had good word of mouth, but we'll see. Maybe people seeing that on streaming on Disney Plus be like, "Oh, this was good. Shame I didn't get to see it in theaters. Well, I'm going to go see Fantastic Four in theaters because this was good. So the next one has to be good."
Sure.
So the Rotten Tomatoes score, that's it rose up to 84% on Rotten Tomatoes and stalling at 82. That's pretty good. My hope increases each day. That's what Superman is all about. I think it's important that Supergirl makes more than Superman, though. I think it will. We'll see. Patrick asking, will Superman and Fantastic Four pull a Barbenheimer, much like with Barbie and Oppenheimer? No, because it wasn't the same day, and it wasn't like it wasn't propagated as like a huge event. It was just like, hey, two big superhero movies are coming out in July, but they're like 3 weeks apart, so 2 weeks apart. So I don't think that's the case. But we still have more Superman stuff to be talking about. Apparently, speaking of streaming, Superman is fueling a surge in HBO Max DC viewership. Apparently, Superman the movie is up 332%. Man of Steel is up 218%. Ew. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, is up 1,000.2%. Peacemaker is up 91%. So is this nice to see that even though that maybe people aren't seeing Superman in the theater just yet, that like Superman popularity seems to be booming?
It does. I mean, I have a feeling maybe a lot of these people even saw the movie and now are getting that revitalized interest. Like if they hadn't seen the original, or it's been obviously a long time, or they want to know more about. I bet you a lot of them too maybe have seen the Superman movie, now watching the Christopher Reeve story. Yeah, that's great. That's really great, and it makes sense because it's a hot topic right now. Everything DC.
Yeah. But yeah, this is really awesome to see. It shows that Superman is kind of going through a renaissance of sorts. That people are really seem to be really into it after it was kind of like seemed to be like dead or not very interested. So yeah, I think that
It's
that's
really
good to
awesome.
see. But I agree with Movie Spud. I want DC to be on top for a change. Yeah, it's just like not that I hate Marvel. I don't hate Marvel. I think they've been just kind of in the gutter the past few years.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to just see DC reigning champions. Marvel has been reigning champion for almost
So
20 years at
long.
this point. So it's like,
Wow.
give DC a shot, right?
Change it up.
So, yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. No, I totally. I'm. It's exciting. It's just a totally different storytelling. Just it's exciting to see this fresh perspective on instead of you know, it's just it's helpful because I'm so sick of Marvel. I really am. So even I'm really excited.
Yeah. Elite Easy saying, I think Gunn told CBS he's happy with the reaction to Superman and the box office so far. At least he's not worried like before it dropped. And Elite Easy saying people should watch MOS before they see Superman. Fuck's sake. Okay. Sure. But yeah, the streaming numbers are definitely nice to see and showcasing the power that this movie holds in the palm of its hands, I guess. Um, but next up, speaking of a James Gunn interview, Elite Easy, he was in this interview and they were talking about kind of what James Gunn has said before, but saying it in a new light, just kind of in what's planned, because he has said it before, but now it's just like planning. So the interviewer initially asks like what the Batman is going to look like, and he's like, I don't know what Batman is going to look like in the DCU. He's just like, and then he kind of diverts the question to, I'm just focused on what's coming out: Peacemaker season 2, Supergirl, Lanterns, Clayface, and then he kind of goes into talking about how tonally inconsistent the DCU is. And he points to the and later on he points to the comics that's next to the interviewer, that he's like, look at those comics there. Those are so different. Those are all Superman comics, yet they are and look and feel so different. And it's better to have inconsistency
Totally.
between movies so that you're getting different audiences and you're getting different things so people don't get superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he's saying right here,
Yeah.
it's not going to be, like Superman. It's going to be about the artists, the writers, the directors, the creators. It's going to be about that and how it's like they're showing their vision. And it's really showcasing how he wants to be different from Marvel, which seems like kind of an assembly line kind of movie. They keep pumping them out. They don't really have a lot of like director focused movies. So, and as he says here, we don't want people being bored, which kind of buys into the whole superhero fatigue argument. So, do you like what James Gunn is saying about the future of the DCU, or do you think there should be more tonal consistency between movies?
I think he's spot on. I mean, he clearly can see the problem. That's definitely been, I think, Marvel's hubris. I feel like a good analogy is even like seeing it as like an art gallery. Like, would you want to go just see a bunch of artwork in pieces from only one artist? It
Yeah.
gets boring. It's repetitive. It's the seeing different textures, even seeing like a common theme, but different pieces, different ways that they, everyone's got their own perspective, and that's what makes it so, that's what keeps us interested, and I think it's much more palatable is to see different stuff, not seeing, oh, they're all kind of the same. They're all a little bit, they're different flavors, but a carbon copy of like the same base. It's just we especially in this day and age when getting people's attention is, I think, a lot harder. We don't want to watch the same iteration of the same movie 20 times. We want something different. And if that means that, a couple of movies have different, as he said, different tones or different things that aren't completely coherent, I'm okay with that. As long as it's a great movie, that even if it stands on its own, it's great. That's just my hot take. John? I mean, to say more, I really think that yeah, just, and I think it's great you're getting different directors and artists involved. It's going to give a platform for different people to showcase their
Oh, yeah.
artisans. And that's what instead of having just the same group of people, like that's the beauty of collaboration is we need different people. We need different visions. You can't do it all on your
We
own.
need that. All of us.
Mhm.
Quote Nicole Kidman. Yeah, he needed this for a long time. He talking about Superman. I think that's definitely deserving and really wonderful to see. And we do have one more bit before we head out for the day. Apparently, Sean and James Gunn are going to be on the Kate and Oliver Hudson show, Sibling Revelry. You can listen to it right now wherever you find your podcast, but it's right here. But very just kind of like a cute thing to end on. But I did want to mention, since Sean Gunn does have a role in the new DCU, as we briefly saw in Superman and in the trailer for Peacemaker, that Sean Gunn is going to be playing Maxwell Lord. Do you like the idea of Sean Gunn being in the DCU, making it like a family affair, since, as we know, Crypto is based on Ozu, James Gunn's dog? Do you think that's an okay idea, or do you think that James Gunn is bringing in too much personal stuff into the DCU and they should remain separate?
It's hard to tell. I do feel like he does kind of have, maybe some right to be able to do that, because he is spearheading this whole thing. I think it makes sense that he might add a couple personal touches, or I know there's even the whole, family dynamic, nepo baby conversations going on a lot of the time.
Right.
But I feel like it is different to bring someone on. And I feel like a lot of directors do. It's much more subtle. That he's not like, he's like, oh, and we're gonna make, a Shazam movie, and oh, look who's starring it, Sean Gunn, the main, like it's not that blatant. So I feel like it's okay.
Yeah. The actor said the phone, I keep it going. But Patrick Olinger also wanted to ask you another question, Bridget. Are you a horror fan?
I'm not. As I said, I don't like gore. Actually, I like 80s horror because it's kind of fun and cheesy. But gosh, the worst kind is anything like demon, spiritual. Well, I can't. I can't.
No, that's fair. I mean, as we all know, I'm a horror fan, but that's just me.
Yeah, it makes me sad, honestly.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I agree. It's definitely really awesome to see. And but what's not awesome, unfortunately? We got to end the show here, guys. It's very unfortunate, but it is the end of DCU Daily for today. But as we said, we didn't have a ton of DCU stuff. I mean, I think they're kind of winding it down with the collaborations and the Instagram stuff, but kind of thank God, not gonna lie. But obviously, Bridget, it was nice to see you once again. But Dan is gonna be, I believe he's gonna be returning for tomorrow. But thank you all for watching. Say that again.
Stephen will be happy that Dan's back.
Yes, Stephen will be very happy that Dan is back. But we still have some decent amount of people watching. I will play the intro this time, Elite Easy, but we will be, Dan will be returning tomorrow. But also make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. I think we forgot a Q&A this last week, so we'll be trying to do that again this week, tomorrow. So make sure to leave your comments so that we have those ready and booted up tomorrow, so we can answer your questions, whatever questions you might have, or comments or compliments, anything that you want to tell us about. Just tell us how wonderful my beard is, how wonderful having Bridget on the show again was. I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about. But also click the notification bell so you know when we go live, and subscribe and like and do all the things. But remember, while we are blessed from the start, we are still blessed at the end. And remember, don't you forget that. And also don't forget to look up and look out.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you really I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka!